So, after 17 years of professional international football, Megan Rapinoe has announced her retirement for the end of this season. And I think it's a sad day to see her retire, to leave the sport when she has been such an important player and a world-class player. But when you look at her time on the pitch or around it, you kind of have to break down Megan Rapinoe, Megan, into sort of two facets. The player, the on the pitch, and the person, the advocate, and everything off and around the pitch. Now, as a player, she's won multiple World Cups and Olympic gold, has been so important for OL Reign or Seattle Reign, had a spell in France, has been just a key and regular face around the NWSL and the previous iteration as well in WPS. But she's a fun player, a flair player, a player with a good nose for goal who can score from range as well as inside the box. You never want to give Pino too much space to work with. But not even in 2019, but in 2016, when she took the knee in solidarity with Colin Kaepernick, it felt like it was an important thing. It felt like it was an incredibly important thing she did to kneel in solidarity. And that then caused its own fallout in US soccer with the rules around what you had to do during the anthem that have since been changed. But it wasn't then so surprising when we get to 2019 and you have this quite large fallout with a viral video filmed, I think it was in February of that year. And you have the pink hair, so iconic, and the celebration with the arms outstretched, as well as the ice cold penalties throughout the 2019 World Cup for the US. But I think we saw more and more of Megan using her platform, using her voice, and standing up for causes she believed in. Now, of course, as an out lesbian, standing up for queer issues, for trans issues as well. It's not so surprising to see from people within the community. But in kneeling with Kaepernick, she's done what she's reached out, and she's been an ally for causes that aren't necessarily ones that directly impact her. I think it's incredibly important as well, because we know she can be a leader on the pitch. But when you're looking at, say, younger players coming through who are looking for inspiration, or even just a fan, or whether you're young or old, she's an inspirational person, and you know, she's been recognised, I think, in Times 100, most, you know, she uses her platform. Now, not every athlete, not every sports person, not every person in the public eye should feel that they have to use their platform, or should be bullied into it, or whatever you like. But some do. I think we've seen, you know, Marcus Rashford using his for good in England. Whereas, you know, some do, and it's so important, I think, especially for people coming through, to feel empowered, to look up to these players, these athletes, and see that they're standing up for what they believe in. Now, you're not always going to be aligned to their causes and believe the same things that they do, but it is important, because especially at this point in history, it does feel like quite a rough time for a lot of different people, a lot of different communities. So when you have people in the public eye who aren't necessarily your common garden politicians standing up about political issues, and I think the thing is, everything is kind of a political issue, even if it's just access to pitches, that comes down to politics. But definitely in terms of race and sexuality and gendered violence, it's important to have people who feel they can stand up, use their platform for good. And although Megan Rapinoe is a world-class player and has won multiple World Cups, Olympic gold, I think she knows as much as we all do that she'll be remembered. Maybe some Seattle Reign fans and US Women's National Team fans would disagree, but she'll be remembered for her advocacy, for her pink hair, but which is blue now, but for how she's taken a stand. And I think as we're looking back on her career, as she prepares to end it, prepares to play in her last tournament with the US, as much as the football, it's very hard to not think of Megan Rapinoe, the advocate, and to see that player, that person, retiring and moving on to the next phase of their career.